Content Bite with Lynn and Rachel.
Hi, Lynn. How you going?
I'm good, Rachel. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Hi, everybody. Nice to be back, this week.
Yes, it's good. I think we've all had a tricky time of it. The whole world is having a tricky time.
I know. I mean, I'm seeing that some people have heaps of work, some people have no work, and there seems to be nothing in between at the moment. You finding that as well with freelancers?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people, there's a big need for communication at the moment. So anyone whose industry is still going, they need to communicate everything about it, and others, they're just shut down and waiting. It's really hard.
It is really hard, but something that we really want to talk about this week, after our other two episodes, is we want to talk about what freelancers can start doing right now to future-proof their freelance business, essentially.
Yes.
And there are six things we think are important, aren't there?
Exactly. We had a good think of it for the last couple of days, and there are some really good practical things you can do right now.
Yes. I think the first thing is really important because everybody is feeling so weird, and also probably has a bit of this COVID-19,
anxiety,
and just feeling jaded by the whole thing, wanting to escape the whole thing. So, I mean, it's weird. How do we sort of navigate that feeling? You think that we take the pressure off ourselves and stop?
I did see a really good article about how everyone, that it's okay to feel bad and feel stressed and upset, and just let those feelings go. And I think that's okay. My sister said, we had a chat, and she said if she read one more thing about how to pivot yourself this week, she was going to scream.
I've actually come to hate that word so much.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's okay to think this is unprecedented what we're going through, and it's normal to say this is really hard.
Yeah. So, but I'm trying very hard not to use the P word again, because I think I have used and I just hate it.
Yes.
So that's our first point, is sort of to take stock and take a breath, take the pressure off yourself, stop using the P word.
But also, no more pivoting.
But also, I really want to just quickly mention, I interviewed someone last week. It was Peter Diaz, the head of the Workplace Mental Health Institute, and that was for a mental health story. And this guy, he was really interesting, and one of the points that I took away from that is he talked a lot about gratitude and writing down specific things to be thankful for, which is something perhaps we're not doing because we're all in the freak out mode still, or some of us are. But there are heaps of studies about gratitude and using a gratitude journal and writing down those really specific points. It's meant to be able to really shift your neurology to a more positive and happier mindset. And I think it does work. I actually used an online gratitude journal for a while, and then they basically closed the website, taking all my lovely gratitude things with them. But there is one online that I've found, so I'm going to put that in the show notes. I think that's kind of a good thing to do that doesn't take much effort, but can actually get you into that positive mindset if you're struggling.
I think so too. We sometimes do when we have family dinners, when we have dinner around the table, we say something that went right today, something we feel grateful for, without making it sound cheesy. It can be cheesy, but it does turn your attitude, and it does make you feel better.
I think so.
I think, it's like taking a deep breath.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's get on to what's our second point, that
making connections, even virtually.
Yes, making connections. Like, I think we all want to retreat, don't we? We kind of think, should we retreat? But I happen to think that, relationships sort of matter now more than they ever have, in a sense.
I think so too. And I think people still need to connect with other people, and people like working with writers or creatives that they can trust. There's been a few changes in publishing this week, but I sort of deal with, I was talking to an interior designer who wanted me to pitch some stories to a magazine. And I don't know that the magazine's not taking any commissions at the moment, but I just said, look, I'd tell it anyway. And even if I don't write it and it's written in-house, they'll remember. The interior designer was so grateful. And I just thought, just be nice, just be generous, and it'll pay pay in the long term.
I
I'm
totally
sure.
believe that. I think that doing those sorts of things now without any sense of what is this going to bring back to me is going to pay dividends. And I also think, you can create relationships and connect with other freelancers and potential clients right now without having any expectations. And there are so many ways to do that. Like every day there's something new popping up on LinkedIn, and, there's webinars, there's online Zoom workshops. I mean, I think that if there's a course that you want to do right now, I think we talk about that further on in our points, but if there's a course that you want to do right now, a lot of those courses have those built-in Facebook groups and online communities, and they can be a great way to, meet new people and build your network, but not in a salesy, give me work kind of way, but just building
you
that
learn
community
things
around
from
you.
other people, you connect.
Yeah.
Maybe it's sometimes you learn about an industry you've always thought about being involved with or writing for. It all
Absolutely.
connects.
Yeah. And I think there's heaps of, I keep seeing, I don't know if you've seen like the sort of virtual coffee meetups and virtual lunches. I think Jules Brooke, who's in PR, does a lunch. I think she does a lunch every Friday, online virtual lunch. And that's for female business founders and women who are running their own business. So we'll put a link to that in the show notes. There's also a great marketing guy called Joe Glover, who's doing marketing meetups. And I've registered for one of those with a guy that I follow on LinkedIn who I absolutely love, John Esperan. And he's a LinkedIn legend. He basically, if there's something that you should know about LinkedIn, he's the guy. So that guy, Joe Glover, he's talking to a lot of really interesting people, and those are sort of meetups where you can, I think, connect with others, or it might be more webinar style. But anyway, that's something to think about. And there's also one coming up this week through an agency, Suits and Sneakers, and it's called Freelancers Unite. And that's an online virtual meeting for freelancers on the 9th of April. So we'll put that one in the show notes as well.
Freelance Jungle had one on Friday too that I thought they had a virtual meetup, and I thought that would be nice. I couldn't do it. I'm trying to finish a bit of work at the moment, but that looked really nice, and I think that's really supportive too. Particularly if you're feeling overwhelmed by what's happening, or we're trying to get your attitude and feel a bit more positive.
Absolutely. I think Freelance Jungle, maybe this might be just for Patreon people. It might not. It might be for all of Freelance Jungle. I can't remember, but they have heaps of webinars coming up with some really great movers and shakers. So good for learning. And also I think, you can also connect with other people going to those. So
that's great.
But there are also really fun ways beyond work to still feel connected. And one of mine, which I have to mention because I just love it, is that pub choir. Have you seen the pub choir?
Oh, I think I have. Yes.
It's so great. Actually, we're recording this on Sunday. For anyone who's listening, you might be listening on Monday. And sadly, I think the deadline closes today, Sunday the 5th. And they did, what did they do for the last song? It was Close to You, which was incredible. And the next one, I think they're doing a David Bowie song. And I was thinking about doing it, but I haven't had time to watch the videos and do it. But I can't wait to see that because it's just so great. You record yourself singing the song, and then it all gets patched together with thousands of other people singing the song, and they put it together, and it's just beautiful. So anyway.
That sounds fantastic. I had my book club did a Zoom catch up.
Yeah.
We all did it, and that was really nice. And we all connected. We all talked about it, shared our feelings. It was great.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so this brings us to our next point, which is point 3, things freelancers should be doing right now to future-proof their freelance business is don't retreat, reach out to your clients.
Exactly. Well, in times like this, communication is really important. And so even though you might be worried about your clients or you're worried about how to approach them, they probably need you at the moment a lot. And so we have to think about how you can communicate, being sensitive, and also cut your clients a bit of slack. I think they're all struggling. Are yours?
Yeah, look, I think that there are heaps of businesses out there that are sort of floundering, and some are doing damage control, and some are trying to figure out what message to put out there. And some are probably forgetting that they might have pre-scheduled heaps of social that, isn't quite, relevant in the current climate, or they might have a content calendar that needs to be completely changed, but they've forgotten about it because they're dealing with other stuff, So I think that clients probably need their freelancers more than ever. But I do think there's this overwhelming sense of, I don't want to be tone deaf, so I'm just not even going to approach them. And I don't think that's the right thing to go in with. I absolutely think right now we almost need to approach clients in this really proactive and confident way. I think we talked about this in a previous episode.
Yes, we did. Well, I had a big client that I just did a big project. I rewrote their website, which was quite huge, like 13,000 words. And I sent off the copy a couple of weeks ago, but I hadn't heard and I was feeling nervous. I noticed they were still active on social, and I sent them an email asking how they're going and whether they're happy with it. And they just said, we're so sorry. We've just had to move everything online, or instead of doing things, they're a retailer, they're working or moving everything online, doing online consultations, and they're just getting that in line. And now they want to do a whole lot of communication about that. And so they have heaps of work, and they're briefing me this week.
I know. Yeah, I think that's true. A lot of businesses are having to sort of, I'm not using the P word.
I was going to say.
They're having to, how can I put this? Reinvent their whole business.
Yeah.
And I think there was a great, Claire Chow, who works for Rachel's List, but also a heap of other clients, and is a brilliant content strategist. She was telling me about a client that she works for. It's yogaashfield.com.au. That's the website. And basically she was working with the client on the new website before, everything went to hell in a handbasket. And she said to me, we had to really quickly shift the client's way of doing business, including the pricing structures and the membership offerings. But they really wanted to, take advantage of what's happening and do it in such a way that they were giving back to her community and bringing something really new and positive under the brand. And they also started a Facebook group for members that has gone gangbusters. And they basically changed the website that they'd been working on to be this complete online yoga offering. And it's been fantastic. She said a lot of members have stayed on with their current membership, and they do yoga through Zoom, a bit like your Pilates and stuff. And I just think that's such a great example of, going to a client and saying, okay, how is COVID-19 affecting you, and what can we do to move you in a direction that works, given the current reality. And that's something I want to go into a little bit more on a blog post on Rachel's List this week. So
yes, no, I think so too.
Yes.
So many people are moving online, and we're in a great position because, most of my work is digital, and most of your work is digital, isn't it, Rachel?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So we've got a good idea about what sort of platforms are out there and what sort of, ways to go and good ways to package that. So I think we've got a lot to offer.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they actually, your clients, instead of thinking, oh, well, she's being salesy and she's out for herself and all of that, I really think some of them might really welcome you approaching them and saying, hey, I've been thinking maybe you guys could do this, or have you thought about tackling it from this way, and we could do X, Y, and Z. And also offering like a pricing package or a tiered pricing, which we talk about on Rachel's List. And so giving them options so that you can still help them in a way that works for them and their budget, but also for you, which is like, do you give some of it for free or do you add value? That's a question that keeps coming up as well.
I know we've had this discussion, but I think it's important not to offer things for free. It is better if people are struggling, it's about maybe the adding extra value, spending a bit more time chatting to them and helping them strategize perhaps.
Yep.
But I don't think, one of my clients has done really well. I work with a lot of project home builders. And all their display villages not doing so well at the moment, but all their online content and all their websites are going gangbusters because people are still thinking about houses. They're just not going to them at the moment. And so they've got this real need and demand for online content. So there's it's just a way businesses are working differently at the moment.
Absolutely. Okay, well, what's point 4? It's This is the
Do
one.
all the courses.
Do all the courses. So this is the upskilling point, which
Yes.
if you are, struggling for work and you're having to apply for one of those payments, the job keeper payment or the job seeker payment, and you're finding yourself, well, I've got some money coming in so that can cover the bills and everything. So now what do? I still have to do some marketing, which I think is really important. I actually read something this week saying, businesses and freelancers that market themselves through a crisis are going to recover something like 9 times faster at the other end. So I think
definitely.
It's really important to keep marketing, even if you're finding that work is slow coming in. But if it is slow coming in and you find you have lots of time on your hands, it's a perfect opportunity to do some upskilling, I think. Do you agree?
I totally agree. There's so many good courses out there, and a lot of them are online, and even ones that there's lots of face-to-face ones that have moved online in the last month because I'm not going to say it, but they've reinvented themselves. So one that we both love, that we've heard great things about, is Kate Toon's recipe for SEO success.
Oh, yep. And her podcast, what's that called?
Yes. There's one called The Recipe for SEO Success, which is about SEO. And there's one called Hot Copy, which is also really good.
That's the one that I like. I don't think I've listened to the SEO success one, but the Hot Copy one is fantastic for copywriters who are new or experienced copywriters. There's always so many nuggets of wisdom in that.
There is. It's really practical. And actually the last podcast on the Recipe for SEO success I really liked was actually how to do a webinar.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really relevant at the moment. And I thought that's really good.
Mm-hmm. I loved Rounded's webinars. They're free and they do some fantastic webinars for freelancers. And they've got them coming up, every month, I think, with different people.
Yes.
So I actually did one with them.
Oh, yeah, you did one.
I did.
And we talked, I think, last time about the finance one, which is about, financing in a difficult time.
Yeah. Okay, so what are some other courses that people can look into?
Well, there was some great Eventbrite. Are quite good. They're sort of an online, they're an event thing, and they had great courses on how to move a physical event into an online event. Mm-hmm. And so they're really good tutorials. I thought that was really good. Plus, when you go into Eventbrite and do a bit of a search, it has all the webinars and everything in your area. So you can go into there and sort of search for something like copywriting or marketing or something like that and find lots of online events that way. They were really good.
I think I keep hearing about HubSpot Academy's digital marketing course. I think it's meant to be extremely comprehensive, but it's also free. So that's a good one if you're a bit strapped for cash. And LinkedIn Learning, which used to be called Linda. If you looked at those courses, a lot of those are free and they have some great courses.
They do.
Okay, so we're going a bit over time, so we're going to rush to our next point.
Yep.
Which is
diversify.
Diversify, feel the fear and tap into new markets. We did touch on this, didn't we, in the previous episode or the one before that, which was, or was it the blog post? I wrote a blog post about how, and that was one of the points. You have so many skills that are translatable, I suppose.
Yes, and I think it's really important as well as future-proofing your business is to make sure that you're not dependent on one market. That's what I've really learned. I mean, I have a few different clients and some of them have fallen over a little bit or gone very quiet, but I still have a couple left that I can grow. So I'm not totally dependent. And publishing at the moment, it could be doomed. We don't know. It's still...
Well, it's taking a hit. There are some commission freezes happening out there, but then people are still looking for pitches. So it really depends on who you're pitching. But I do agree with you. I think having a mixture, the whole finger in pies thing, like I've got content marketing clients, I've got small business clients, I've got corporate clients, and I've got print editors, who I still write for. So you're right. If something falls over, you're not completely lost because you have those other income streams. So I think that's great.
I think it's important.
What's our last point?
Is to do an isolation to-do list, Rachel. How good is that?
I love this one. I think that, I think that we probably all have a list of things that we want to do in our business that we never do because we never have time when things are busy. And this could be the opportunity to really nail your website, which I still haven't started.
And I think it's a positive thing to do when something you can control when everything seems to be going crazy around you. Doing something positive, I think, is really good. Updating socials, getting systems for onboarding clients, have your contracts sorted, get some templates, all that stuff. Organizing your finances.
Yes. And we have discount codes for Rounded, so I'm going to share those in the show notes. And also taking advantage of software. I think there's some great deals at the moment. If you're a graphic designer or an illustrator, Adobe is it half price at the moment?
Oh, something like that. Yeah, it's really good. So, and if you do want to sort of sign up to anything, this is a great time to really get to know that software and practice it and embed it into your work. So I think that's great. Yeah, but we're going to create a bit of a checklist, aren't we, Rachel?
We will. We'll do an isolation checklist and we'll have it up in the toolkit tomorrow, so you can download that for free. You can add to it and start.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. Well, we better go.
So I'm going to just run through all the.
Okay.
How about we just do a quick summary?
Okay.
So number 1 is take stock and take a breath.
Yep.
2 is to make connections, even virtually.
Yep.
3 is don't retreat. Reach out to clients and keep pitching.
Yep.
4 is upskill. Do the courses. Take the webinars.
Yep.
5 is diversify.
Yep.
And 6 is to make an isolation to-do list.
Yeah. So that's going to keep everybody busy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So there we are.
Yeah, hope that's been helpful, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, and find us on Facebook at The Content Bite.
Yes, or email us thecontentbite@gmail.com.
Terrific. Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Lynn. See you. Bye.